everyone, it's Stephanie from Inspire Me. I am here today to show you how to make these super cute little treat, almost pillow box type things. This was actually cased by UK demonstrator Liz Ewell, and I believe she said she got this from somebody else who got it from somebody else. So it is not my design by any means, but they are super cute, and I thought I would come on to show you all how to make them. So the first thing you need is a sheet of designer series paper, and I am using the new paper from the mini catalog. It is a specialty designer series paper, and I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up, but one side of the paper is foil, and then the other is just a regular paper. So the the pack is called From My Heart, and you can see some of that great paper there. So the piece we're using today is 4 inches by 4.5 inches, and you can see that it's double-sided paper. So because I want the pattern to be up and down, I am going to use this side. So you do want it to be 4 inches top to bottom and 4.5 width, whichever way you want that pattern to go. So I'm going to pull out my scoring board, because that's the first step, is we're going to score this. So you want to score it at 4 inches on one end, because that's going to create your tab. And you don't need to push very hard. It is just paper, so if you score too hard, it will actually tear the paper. And then we're going to score at 2 inches. You're going to rotate that 90 degrees so that the 1/2 inch tab is now at the top. And we're going to score at 1 inch. And again at 3 inches. And then we are going to flip that over again, and we are going to score at 1.5 inches just to the 1 inch line there, and 3.5 inches again just to the 1 inch score mark. And then we're going to put the scoreboard away. And this is a trick that Liz pulled out. If you have a piercing mat and a ruler, you want to pull those out, because for the next piece we are going to score again, but we don't want to push too hard and rip the paper. And I am actually just going to fold so you can get a better idea of the score marks. Okay. So I'm just folding along where the score marks go all the way across, not the little 1 inch scores there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 1 inch score to the 1 inch score, and I'm going to create a diagonal on both sides here to create a triangle, and then again on the other one. So from the 1 inch to the 1 inch line, and the 1 inch to the 1 inch. And now if I fold, you can see there's triangles in there. So these are important when we actually go to assemble, because that's where we want the creases to end up. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to grab our paper snips, and we are going to cut on the 1 inch, or sorry, the 1/2 inch tab, the score line down to the 1 inch. And then we're just going to create a little tab here. Same thing on the other side, that 1 inch score. Create a little tab. And then across the bottom at each of the score lines, you're just going to cut up the center to that 1 inch mark. You don't want to go past it. And then across the top, we're going to just here at the 2 inches. So now you should have 4 square tabs across the bottom and 2 rectangular tabs across the top. So for the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to assemble. So we're going to take the 1/2-inch tab that we created, and I'm going to throw a piece of tear and tape on there. Tear and tape is so versatile and it holds really well, so you don't need much. Just peel the back off of that. And then we are going to fold that close just like that. So now we have a nice little envelope. And I'm gonna pull out a tag topper punch. Now this is a retired punch. I don't have the current one, but if you have a tag topper, you can certainly use that. And it just creates a nice scalloped edge across the top. So then next, to actually finish the box, we're gonna start to adhere the tabs. Now we do want the bottom to create a square. It might fight you a little bit, but that's where these triangular scores come in. So I'm gonna use a little bit of tear and tape on each of these flaps. And again, you don't need much. So this is gonna be our first one. Down. And the great thing about doing it this way is you can reach inside the box to push those down and give it some something hard against the back side, so it's not going to keep popping up on you. And then for the last piece, and like I said, you can reach inside. I'm just going to use my stylus because it's handy. Give it a little bit of a push. There's our bottom. So there's our little box. You can see the triangular score lines that we created using the piercing mat and the stylus come in handy because it gives it that shape. And you can fill that with whatever you'd like. In this one, I actually have 2 little chocolates. These I get at Costco. Because they're super affordable, and you get a large package of them. You could go to your dollar store or Dollar Tree and pick up little heart-shaped candies. You could fill them with cinnamon hearts, whatever really, whatever little treat your heart desires, you can really do those up nicely. So then to complete the packaging and do the design, this is a great way to use your scraps. So I've got Real Red and Flirty Flamingo, and we're going to heat emboss those. So I'm going to start with the Real Red, and I'm just going to rub my embossing buddy on there real quick. We're going to stamp in Versamark. So I'm actually going to mix this one up. I'm going to stamp the arrow on the red. So I'm just going to ink up the arrow. And we're going to be cutting it out, so it doesn't, you don't need a very big scrap. And we're going to throw some silver embossing powder on there. And then on the scrap of Flirty Flamingo, again, I'm just going to rub my embossing buddy across there, and we're going to ink up the sentiment. So it says, being friends is better than eating candy, but let's do that too. So like that in the Versa, we'll stamp that on the Flirty Flamingo, and again we're going to cover that with the silver embossing powder. All right, and then we're gonna set those. I've got my heat tool here. Okay, now that we've got everything embossed, we're actually just going to use our paper snips and cut these out. So for the arrow, we don't need it to be perfect, because what we're going to do is actually cut it in half to mount behind our words. Just cut that out, and then we're just going to cut along here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I want it to be narrow, but not too bad. We're just going to cut that off. Alright, so there's our arrow. And then for our words, it's actually kind of cool right now to cut things without them being perfectly straight when it comes to things like your sentiments. So I'm just going to freehand cut those. Try to make them look straight, but if they're not, that's okay. That's part of the charm. Now, as you can see, the sentiment is a little bit longer than the arrow. So to get that to fit properly, we're actually just going to cut the arrow in half. And on the back of the sentiments, I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive. So I'm still using fast fuse, but you can use snail, glue dots, whatever it is that you prefer. And I'm going to stick our arrow on there. Like that. And then I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to put on 2 of our mini dimensionals. And I don't want them too far towards the ends because it's actually narrower than what we're adhering them to. So we'll just peel the back off of those. And we are going to stick that to the front of our package like so. And then I'm going to take from my heart faceted gems that are part of the suite, and my take a pick tool, and I'm going to pick a gem. Got this little red one, and I'm going to grab a glue dot. Stick that right on the center of that little arrow. Oops. And we're going to stick that gem right on there. So there we have it. There's our cute little package. So you can finish it off with a piece of ribbon, or you can leave it as is. This is the double stitched satin ribbon from the suite. It is in real red, so it coordinates perfectly. So I am just going to take a snip of that and feed it through. And there you have it. Cute little packaging to adorn your tables or to give out to your kids' classmates or in your own parties. Whatever it is that you think you can use them for, they are super easy to make, and I know the recipients are going to love them. If you are in Canada and would like to order any of the supplies you've seen here today, you can shop my website at www.inkspireme.com. I will put the link in the comments down below. If you would like to join my team, Shut Up and Stamp, I will also put that link in the comments. I apologize. And And I'll also leave you a link to some of the benefits to joining my team right now during Celebration, because you can get the new mini trimmer and a 6x6" designer series paper sampler. It doesn't include all the papers from the mini and Celebration catalog, but it does give you a good spattering to start creating with. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and happy stampin'!